Hello everyone and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Tonight we're going to have some fun because we're going to be doing the bokeh technique. I even dressed like the bokeh. This is the bokeh technique right here. And we're going to be doing it a couple of different ways. Now, I've done bokeh technique videos on my channel before, but I thought if I did 3 ways to do bokeh in one video, this would be a great video for you to save as a resource so you can go back to it and you don't have to be juggling around on YouTube trying to find all the different ways that you can do it. And I'm sure there's a million more ways that you can do it. So if you do it a different way, that's awesome. Maybe you want to try these ways to do it. And they don't all look like this shirt. They don't all look like bokeh photography, but you know, they're fun and I think you're gonna like them, and they make great backdrops for solid silhouette style stamps. Okay, but before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm great. Are we broadcasting from Del Boca Vista? Or Boca Raton?
I wish. It's a little cold up here in Wisconsin. It's Bokeh, B-O-K-E-H.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different, unfortunately.
Just like it sounds.
Yeah.
All right.
Were you coming back later with...
I don't know.
With a...
No idea.
Okay, all right. Well,
here.
we'll see what happens through the night then.
Okay.
Okay. Well, before we actually get started with today's technique, I've got a little housekeeping to do. I want to give somebody a shout out. This is a very special person, and I would love to give her a shout out. Her name is Del Lopez, and Del celebrated her 90th birthday on January 27th. And Del, I have to tell you that your daughter Judy let me in on that secret, and I decided that I had to give you a shout out because 90 years young, getting into stamping, crafting away, that is just awesome, and I wish you many, many, many more happy birthdays and many more years of crafting together. All right, happy birthday, Del. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ways to do this technique, and I'm going to take one at a time. Now, the first one that I want to do is one that I did a couple of years ago in a 5-minute card video. And I'm going to start here with this piece of cardstock. Now, this measures 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 of an inch. You can see I cut it out with Master Layouts too. It's got that nice little stitching around it. And I'm going to create a border for this first, okay? So I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do a bigger border. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch border. So I am using 1/2 inch Masking Magic strips. Now, if you're new to Gina K Designs, Masking Magic strips are these amazing magical strips that come in 3 different sizes: 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and 1/8 of an inch. Normally I use the 1/4 inch for bordering like this, but I'm trying to kind of create an opening where we can stamp a silhouette stamp. So I am going to do it this way instead, okay? So I am just taking these 1/2 inch Masking Magic strips and I am putting them right up along the edge of each of these edges of my piece of cardstock. This is just going to create an opening here for me to be able to stamp an image or whatever I want to do. See, there's still a lot of surface area in there. The other thing about Masking Magic is you can reuse these strips over and over again, but I would recommend that you use the same color that you originally used, because even though we're using dye ink and it dries quickly, this surface is a little bit waterproof and it's a little bit slippery, which means that it may not dry 100% on there, and it could be easily reactivated when you use your blending brush or whatever you're going to do and you touch these edges. So try to stick with the same color scheme and you'll be fine. Now, they're not meant to last forever, but you can certainly use them a few times over. All right, I'm going to start with the Fizzy stencil for this version of the technique. And remember, although you may have seen bokeh look very different in cards that you've made or that you've seen other people make, there's lots of different ways to create this kind of circular look. And if you want to know what bokeh looks like, just look at my shirt here. So bokeh is a photography thing, and it's kind of like when people take pictures and the sun is hitting things a certain way and you get those big orbs of glow that are kind of translucent. You can see through them, but they're just these big orbs. And I know that there's filters that can create that on photography, and they kind of look just like my shirt, but then you would see a photograph or something in the mix. Okay, so if that makes sense. Now, my bokehs are all going to look different because I'm going to be using small circles, I'm going to be using some bigger circles, but they're each going to be a circular background that we're going to call bokeh. Okay, so I'm going to start this one with a little bit of, let's see, I think I'm going to do, let's do some sweet mango ink. So I'm going to start with some sweet mango here. And I'm going to use my orange blending brush, going to ink that up, and I'm going to just have a very light hand here, okay? Now, when you're using a stencil like the Fizzy stencil or any stencil, you may want to tack it down just so that it doesn't shift. And that's just fine to do because, you know, it's easy to shift. Sometimes I like to just hold it down, but if you're a little bit weak in the hands and you let go, it can shift. Okay, so I'm going to just start with a very light hand, and I'm just doing certain areas here. Just like that. Okay, so I just did 3 areas. Then I'm going to pick another color here, and I think I'm going to use the color, I think I'm going to go with sweet corn. Let me find that. I know it's here somewhere. All right, so here's some sweet corn. I'm going to use a little sweet corn.
Is bokeh always circles?
Bokeh is always circles. At least that's my understanding of bokeh. It's always circles. Okay, so I've got a little sweet corn in here. Okay. And then I think I'm going to mix in just a hint of honey mustard. Okay, so a little honey mustard on here. Yeah, if you look up bokeh photography, you'll see what I'm talking about. It kind of, it is a little out of focus, but it has these orbs in it for sure. So you definitely see the orbs. This isn't done enough here. Okay. So now let's take this off, and we've got this little pattern. It's a soft pattern, right? Very soft and very sunny. This one's a little bit sunny. Now I'm going to take whatever's left on this yellow brush, and I'm going to just do a little blend around the perimeter first, because I want to make sure that there's no white space showing on the perimeter. Otherwise, these borders aren't going to make any sense at all. And now I'm going to go in with even a little bit of a lighter hand, but I want to not have white. I want to just tone it down a little bit so it's not so white, okay? All right. Now we're going to add another color here. we're going to add some more sweet mango. And a lot, you know, when you see the bokeh technique, these kind of orbs kind of overlap. So we're going to go with another stencil here. And this stencil is the Nature's Elements stencil. This is a great stencil. It's got so many options here for adding leaves and adding clouds and stars and the sun. It's got this little grounding element that you can stencil, maybe in a gray to like pop an animal on top, a little critter. And then it's got these two right here. Now what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I don't do anything else other than these circles. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this like that. And to start, I'm going to do this. Okay, so I'm going to use just this one. Now I'm going to overlap some of this with a little bit of this sweet mango. And I am going to go like off my border here so that it's, you know, some of these look like they're kind of fading in from the side. So you see how that one looks? Very transparent. We'll bring one in over here. See, we're just creating more of these kind of bubbly things. We'll do one up here. So this is kind of this is one way to do it. Like I said, there's a lot of ways to do it, but this is one way to do it. I love the way this looks. And it's funny because you don't necessarily think about like using the stencils in this way, but that really does create a really interesting look, right? Okay, very soft. Now if we wanted to add some of these smaller ones, we could. This one right here. We could add a few of these in that same color. Just add a couple. Let's look at it and see where it needs something. Let's do something down in here. Little one there. We'll do one up here. And maybe one just a little bit up in this corner. Okay. All right, that's going to be enough bokeh. Okay. Now I'm going to peel these off and we'll reveal our beautiful bokeh design. And again, if you want to keep these, I would just straighten them out, and you know, you can put them on your stamp pockets, your stencil pockets. You can put them on the back of stamp sets that you want to use. You can even put them on a piece of cardstock because they peel right off and can be reused. So if you just wanted to tack it down there, you can peel it back off and you can use it again. So it's pretty sturdy stuff. Okay.
Heidi wants to know, can you do this over an already stamped image?
You can, but I would recommend doing the background first and then stamp the image, because when you're really blending over color, you could smear your image. Now I'm just going to stamp over this, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to be taking a blending brush and moving this ink anymore. But if you were to stamp a silhouette image and then do this on top, you might start to smear some of that black ink. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to layer this together on a piece of black cardstock. This was cut with Master Layouts 2, and the background was cut with the plain die from Master Layouts 2. But if you want to just cut your own panels, these measure 3.5. This one's 3.5 by 4 3/4, and this is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. All right. So that gives us our nice little background there. Now we're going to add a silhouette stamped image over this. Okay, and that's when I feel like it really comes to life and it really almost makes a little more sense. Alrighty. We'll get this in here. And then let's see what we'll do, I think I used this one in my last video that I made, but you know what? I've been dying to use this Kindness Silhouettes stamp set. It's so pretty. Maybe I'll use that. We'll see how it looks. I'm going to use it because it's just such a pretty set. I love the tiny bubbles, yes. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that's where I want it. And then I think I might do 2 of these. I love this Kindness Silhouettes. This was actually an incentive set for when we released our die cutting machine. And it's so useful. I'm going to see maybe if I do this, and then maybe that, or maybe just this one's going to be enough. Let's try it and see how it looks. Something about like a beautiful silhouette image over something like this just knocks me out. Okay, I'm going to get some black ink here. I did finally re-ink my black ink pad, and look at how nice that ink's going on there. I just opened this stamp set too. I feel like I might have to clean that. Let me clean that. Probably should have prepped it with my finger, but I'm lazy and I think, oh, I'll just give it a try and see what happens. All right, cleaned with the tidy towel. Still a little wet. Okay. Here we go. Let's try that again. I'll just stamp it a couple times. Okay, here we go. Well, that, oh, my magnet was in the way. Oops. Let's try that again. There we go. Better. Better, better. Ooh, that is such a beautiful stamp. There we go. Nice and dark. Ooh, isn't that pretty? And doesn't that make the background look really interesting then, once you get that nice stamped image on there? Now, should we add the second stamp? I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do here. We could. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's do it. Let's go for it. We'll put it right in here. Sneak it right in. They are meant to work together. And I really like, when doing a background technique like this, to have parts of it sticking outside of that bordered off area. I think that really adds so much. This is a nice little mini stamp set, which is kind of nice for, you know, when you don't want to take a big silhouette stamp with you and you're stamping out there on the road. Maybe you're taking your kids or grandkids to a play place or something, and you just kind of want to have some little supplies. This is a nice silhouette one.
And what will the finished size of that card be?
This will be an A2 card, so it'll be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Yeah, I feel like this second stamp was needed. I love that. Okay, I'm just going to do 2 there. And then we can just add, I mean, the greetings in this set are absolutely beautiful.
What's the name of that set again?
This is called Kindness Silhouettes. We could do I've been thinking about you, or You Are So Kind. I'll always love you. I've been thinking about you. I just feel like it's going to go over a little too far. I should have probably changed how I'm stamping. You know what I think might be nice for this card? Just a simple strip sentiment. We can use this greeting maybe on another one. I'll keep this out.
And Tammy wants to know, why are they called silhouette stamps?
Because they're not line art stamps. These are chunky, thick stamps that I like to stamp more in black, so that they create a silhouette look rather than an open image that you would color in. That's why we call them silhouette stamps. I feel like something simple like this would be perfect for this card. I think I'm going to do that and turn that into a thank you card. Okay, so let's get a card base for this. I'm going to go just with plain white card bases tonight. I'm going to cut this one off the screen, so I'll be back in 1 second here. I've got my big paper cutter off to the side. So this is going to be a tent style card. This is 11 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to just score that at the 5.5 inch mark. This stamp set was not, it was the incentive set that people got when they purchased the Intercut die cutting machine. It was kind of that secret set that we didn't share, but then now it's available as part of our regular inventory. We always have a secret set that if you place more than one order, you get the secret set. And the secret set's always really pretty too. Okay, there we go. I did a little goober there, so I'm going to take my mono sand eraser and just buff that off. There we go. It was just a tiny little bit of something. And then I'm going to just pop this right onto the card here, and that's going to be done. Simple. That's what I like about these kinds of techniques too. Our layering weight cardstock is 80 pound, and our heavy base weight white cardstock and ivory is 120 pounds. So let me find my tweezers. Let's see where I want to put this. I could put it right up here. I could put it down a little bit and cover a little bit of that. I feel like down a little lower actually looks better, even though it covers a tiny bit. That's what my eye wants to see. So there it is. There's our first little bokeh background. Easy way to do it, right? Just simple. Okay, so that's the first card. I'll bring them all back out when I'm done them, but let's get on to the second one because I've got 3 here I want to make. Okay, so I have another piece of cardstock that's the same kind of thing here. So what I'm going to do with this one, and I've showed this technique as well, so bear with me. Let's create another border. We'll do the same kind of border with this. I think I'm going to make the cards all kind of similar, but show you the 3 different ways that I like to do bokeh. Because this is really more about the technique and not the cards. But it's nice to be able to whip up a few quick cards out of those backgrounds. Okay. So again, I did show you this one in another video. But I'm doing this because I really, like I said earlier, I really wanted a one-stop shop for you here when it comes to this technique. You'd be able to find this video easily, and you know, you'd be able to see all the different ways to do it, or 3 different ways that I do it. Okay, so I'm making sure that I'm really pressing that masking magic down here on the perimeter, on the inside perimeter, because I'm going to use some water for this one. I'm going to use another stencil. Let me find the stencil that I want to use. I got everything all jumbled up here. Okay, I'm going to use sunspots for this. This is a fun stencil, you know, to do other kinds of techniques. It makes a really pretty semicircle on your card. You can use it as sunshine coming up over the hills. But for this one, we're going to use it as a bokeh technique today. Okay, so I am going to pick a couple of colors here. I'm going to use some Turquoise Sea. Let's see, I think I'm going to use some Lucky Clover, and then some Wild Wisteria. And then what I'm going to do, I am going to get another piece of cardstock here. What I'm going to do is I am going to start by putting some Turquoise Sea ink on this, like that, over here, and over here, okay? Then I'm going to add a little bit of this Lucky Clover. And then I'm going to add some Wild Wisteria. And I know it's probably, you know, making some people nervous that I'm kind of mixing colors, but it's really okay. I don't mind doing it. Now I'm going to take a water bottle. I just have a little water spray bottle here that's going to give me a fine mist, and I'm going to mist this. So it's got some water on there. Okay. Now I'm going to take this piece of cardstock and I'm going to just smash it down on there. Hope I got it in the right spot. And then I'm going to pick it up. Okay, now this does not look like bokeh yet. But we're not done with this. So I'm going to clean this off so I can put this away. Or at least get it out of the way so it doesn't land on my bokeh top. And then I'm going to get my heat tool. Let me plug this in. I use the Wagner heat tool. I know this doesn't look like much yet, but I promise it will. It will be very cool. Okay, so now while it's still stuck to this paper, I'm going to just heat it to dry it. I want to dry all that water. Now you can see on the Masking Magic, it's still wet. There's some standing water, so I'm just going to wipe that away because we don't really need to worry about that. Okay. Now I'm going to dry it just a little bit more. It should dry up pretty quickly. There's not that much water on there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take a brush. Let me get a brush. Blending brush. Where's the blending brush that I want? I want a Turquoise Sea blending brush. I am going to use a little bit of sea glass ink for this because I want a very light blend. And remember, you always have to, when you're doing these kind of border techniques with the Masking Magic, you always have to have color everywhere, or else here where it's white, it's not going to look like a border. So now I'm going to add some color. I'm going to add some sea glass in here. It starts to come more to life when you add some color to it. Okay, there's a little bit of sea glass in there. I'll do a little down here. Okay, now I'm going to get another brush, and I think I'm going to use this brush that has some medium lilac on it. It's a very similar vein to our Wild Wisteria. It's a bluer purple, and I'm going to add a little bit of that in there. I think I need to ink it with a little more. Let me find the color. I didn't want to have to dig, but it looks like I'm going to have to dig. Okay, here we go. Here's medium lilac. You can see this is a little darker. This is a little lighter. Need a little purple in there. Now again, not your traditional bokeh technique, but it gives that kind of blurry feel to it. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Lucky Clover, even though I use that in the ink cube. It's still going to give you, it's going to give you a nice color, and it's not going to cover up any of the Lucky Clover that you see on the card already.
Couple quick questions. Do you have to worry about melting the Masking Magic?
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's a good question, but I don't think so. We'll see. Let's see what happens here. All right, I'm going to peel this Masking Magic off. Nope, it worked just fine. I heated it, I wet it, and it still worked fine, and it's still sticky. You could put it on another piece of cardstock again, and it'll, you know, it'll stick just fine. Here we go. I really like this big one in here. I'm going to stamp over it, but I really like having that big one in there. Yes, it could be done on watercolor cardstock too, definitely. You don't have to use the same cardstock I'm using. You can use a watercolor, but isn't that a pretty background too? Ugh, I love that one. All right, so now I have to find another black panel. I'm going to adhere these together before I start stamping just because I think, you know, with the water and it not being watercolor paper, well, even watercolor paper warps a little bit when it gets wet. So then, you know, you hit it with the heat tool and it gets a little more warpy. So once you get it onto your black panel and onto your card base, it'll be just fine. So let's get that in place, and that'll just help get it a little flatter for when we're stamping. Okay, there we go. Now it's time to stamp. So I'm going to use a different silhouette set. I feel like having some fun tonight. So one of my favorite silhouette stamps, and if you're new to Gina K Designs, you will know that I go back and use old products all the time. Even though we release new things, and I use all the new things too, I use all my new kit stuff all the time, I still go back to some of my old favorites. And I think it's great because a lot of you already have these. I'm going to back out a little. A lot of you already have these items, and it's great to be able to see a stamp set that you bought 3 years ago and to be able to get more use out of it. So you're going to see me constantly pulling out some of these old stamp sets. It's just what I do, and I hope that you're okay with that. I think most people are, especially if you have the stamp set, you want to use it again. I generally don't use retired things because I feel like that can be frustrating for people. But our silhouette stamps, I don't think they'll ever retire. I love them so much. Now, let's see how this looks. So I have it a little bit off center here, and that's okay. Well, I could move it over just a hair so that it goes off on this side a little bit and off on this side a little bit, and it's going off on the bottom a little bit too. So that's good. I think this is going to look really pretty. Right now it looks like a hot mess. If you want to, if you don't believe that's an old stamp, look how stained it is. That's an old stamp. Good. I'm glad you guys like that because I have to keep doing it. If this stream is blurry for you and you're watching on YouTube, underneath the screen you'll see a little gear. It looks like a little gear. Click on the gear and change it to HD, 1080 HD. It might, YouTube sometimes defaults to a lower setting and then you're watching a blurry stream and you don't have to. So if you're watching on YouTube, you should be able to get it in HD. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what happens. I'm going to stamp this more than once, I believe. Oh yes, but look at how pretty that is. Now doesn't that look more like bokeh? It just kind of magically turns more into bokeh when you get the stamped image on it. Okay, we're gonna stamp that area. This is a big stamp, so it does take a couple times. There we go. Oh, I love that. Look how pretty that is. And again, another silhouette stamp. So I think it just makes it easy to do silhouette stamps with these techniques when I'm trying to get more techniques in. All right, and I do have a bunch of sentiment strips already pre-cut. I always have them. As soon as I get a new pack, I cut them all up and use them over and over again. So I don't use the same ones over and over again, but I like having those sentiment strips. We're going to be coming out with some new ones soon. I think that they make it easy. All right, now I'm gonna score this one same way, 5.5 inches. So now we have 2 styles of bokeh, and we're gonna try one more. Okay. Now this is going to go onto the card base. Oops. And I'm going to add a strip sentiment on here to make it quick. And we'll make this one, let's make this one a missing you card. And we'll just pop that right on there like that. Simple layout, master layouts 2, some strip sentiments, a good background technique, and a good silhouette stamp. I need my tweezers. I gotta see this a little better. Okay, so I want it here, here, right here. I'm gonna go in a little bit. I don't want it to go too far out. That's maybe a little further out than that. That looks good. Okay. So now these cards look completely different from each other, but they both have that circular bokeh feel. Okay. All right. Time for our final technique. So this one might be something that you are more used to seeing when it comes to the bokeh technique. We're going to be using some daubers for this. So again, we're going to create that same design. Oh, the silhouette stamp set, that's a great question. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. I used autumn silhouettes for that one. So the first one was kindness silhouettes, and the second one was autumn silhouettes. We've got a lot of silhouette stamps in our collection. Now, I am not going to use these for this because we're going to use different colors. If we were going to use the same colors, I would use those over. Okay. I need another sheet of masking magic. Look, I've got black ink all over me. That's all right. That's a happy stamper. An inky stamper is a happy stamper. So, Tom, do you have a word of the day?
A word of the day.
Word of the day.
Okay, so the word of the day today comes from, I came across it on TikTok, but I didn't grab the name off of the post. So I guess you'll have to Google it or
That's okay. He probably got it from somewhere too.
There. Anyway, yeah, it's probably out there. But today's word of the day is satisfactory, and that simply is it's a factory that makes okay stuff. Right?
Just okay. Satisfactory.
Okay. Satisfactory.
That's very good. I like that. Oh my goodness. All right, well, I think I'm going to do some pinks and purples and blues on this one. This is Masking Magic. Well, as soon as the live is over, you can go back to the beginning of the live. You'll be able to watch the replay, and I talk about Masking Magic and what it is and how it comes in the pack. And so these are just Masking Magic strips. They peel right off. They never damage your cardstock. They're so awesome. Okay, I'll use some Turquoise Sea, and I'll use some medium lilac. I think these three colors would be really pretty together. Better than horrible. But, you know, Dusty Rose, maybe I'll use Bubblegum. Let's see. I want to look. Bubblegum. Because that's going to be a little pinker, and that might work a little bit better with the turquoise. Yes, I do have a new master layouts coming out in our February release. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to start with some turquoise, okay? Now I'm going to take a sponge dauber, and I'm going to ink up this sponge dauber with some turquoise ink, okay? And then I am going to just plop it down and squish like that, okay? This really looks like my shirt. Tom, look at my shirt and look at this. Doesn't this look like my shirt? Ooh, here's the same. Oh, wow, look. I'm doing my shirt color. Gray. I didn't even think to do gray. Oh, I might switch and do gray. What do you think? Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much, Sherry. I appreciate that. I tried letting it air dry today, so it's got a lot more of my natural curl in it. Appreciate that. Okay, I'm not done. I don't know why I'm putting this away. So I'm going to do a few more of these. All right? I'm going to just plop it and then just spin it a little bit. See, it kind of leaves some white in the center. You think I should? Okay, I'll do the gray. I'll do the gray. Okay, we'll do this up here. And you don't have to do them all as dark as each other. You could do some lighter ones. Okay. All right. There, we've got the first 5. Now let's move into some medium lilac. Really, these sleeves are very baggy. Not good card making sleeves. Somebody was so nice and they sent me these sleeve garters. You guys are so nice sending me stuff. I didn't think to grab them for tonight. I've got a little speck on there. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to use the medium lilac. I'm going to overlap a little bit here. Maybe I'll use pink and gray. Okay, and then I'll do one over here like that. And one over here like that. Okay, that's all I'm going to do of the purple. I'm going to use pink and gray. So everybody's going to be happy. All right. What is on this? What color is this? This might be a purple on here. I'm running out of sponge daubers. I need to get some more. I should have one for every color family. I don't yet. Yeah, this has purple on it. I probably should have used this for purple. Let's see if I can get away with this. That's orange. It's so orange. Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Would you be willing to get me a sponge dog? No, you know what? You're not going to... Oh, I have one. I have one. I have an unopened one. Yes. You don't have to go. I have an unopened one here. Excellent. Okay, but isn't this pretty? I love this look. And if you have the small finger daubers, you can mix them in too if you want. Those little small ones. We'll do a pink over here. Pink right there. Gotta get enough pink in. Do pink there. And maybe we'll do a pink up there. Okay. Now I'm going to get the soft stone ink. Let's get soft stone. This is the right color. And I think it's going to be beautiful in here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to one of those stencils. So let me clean this stencil off because I did not do that earlier. I'm going to go back to the Nature's Elements stencil. And you could do this one of two ways. You can either force the ink through using a sponge dauber, or you can just use a blending brush. And I think I'm just going to use a blending brush to add a little bit of this soft stone ink in here. It is a good gray. Okay? And this will be nice because it'll be some smaller ones. So let's get a black blending brush and let's brush away anything that's on there that we don't want. Okay. Little soft stone. Now we're going to go real light-handed here. There we go. Yes. It didn't even look like any ink was coming off of it. There we go. Oh, that's cool. What do you think of this technique, Tom?
It's mesmerizing.
I like this.
You just do that on a big page.
It's fun, yeah. I mean, if you like do art journaling and stuff, why not? You could do this wherever you want.
I want to do the wall of the garage like that.
All right, I'm going to do some smaller ones too. Just add a couple smaller ones in here. Okay. Yep, I like adding the gray. I think I thought he was going to say it's spot on. That's funny. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to I'm not going to take anything off. I do feel like, no, I'm going to just leave it. Now I'm going to take that same Turquoise Sea brush and I'm going to go over the entire perimeter here. Nothing here is going to clash with the Turquoise Sea. And now I can go over the entire thing on the inside too to get rid of any white space. Okay. And now I'm going to peel and reveal. And I think if you have the small finger daubers that are kind of more spongy, it would be fun because you'd get a little bit more of that texture. But I actually like the mix here. I think the mix is really beautiful. I'm seeing spots. Okay, look at that. Isn't that pretty? So that is our third way to do some bokeh on there. Oh, I really like that one. I really like that one. That's the first time I've done this one, by the way. I know, I was brave and did it live in front of you guys and acted like I knew what I was doing. Had no clue. Okay, so now I'm going to tape around the perimeter again and get this mounted onto black. That's because I know you guys aren't going to laugh too much. Boy, the project is coming full circle. It's so awesome. Okay. There we go. All right, I'm going to cut another piece of white cardstock off the camera, just off to the side here where my big paper cutter is, teetering on a bench. And we're going to fold this. This one was really fun to do. So if you have some big sponge daubers, give it a try. I think I like the texture of it on this one. It gives it, it's probably the most realistic when it comes to bokeh because like some of you have been saying and some shared, that bokeh is kind of a blurry kind of photography technique. And so these kind of make it, well, it does. I mean, other than the pink, it does make it look a lot like my shirt, which is very blurry here, these spots. I had to dress like my technique. Okay. So we'll get this on here. It doesn't matter if I put it on the card base before I stamp my design. I don't know what I'm going to stamp yet. I do have a couple things here that I think might be fun. Boy, it'd be fun this way too. But this will be good. All right, I have another stamp set here that I just grabbed a couple of different ones. I thought this one might be fun. This is from Wild Blossoms. This stamp set is so old. Our company has moved twice since this one came out. That's how old it is, okay? But I think it would be a really pretty one. But I think it would look better like this. All right, I'm gonna pull this off and save this card base, and I think I'm gonna make this a horizontal card, and we'll stamp this right here in this corner. Okay. Let me get my Misty out. I had to do one horizontal one. They can't all be the same, but this is such a pretty stamp set that it's kind of hard not to use it. Okay. And it is old. Wild Blossoms. You guys must have this in your collection. Some of you do, I know. I love reading the comments too. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh yay, I have that one. Oh yay, I have that stamp set." That makes it so much better. Okay. Get that in place. And we'll ink this up. Okay. Once you get that silhouette on there, oh, look at that, guys. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Stamp it one more time for good luck, good measure. Okay, that is very pretty. Now we could have used one of these. I've been thinking about you. But I also do have one more of these strip sentiments all cut out. All these strip sentiments are from the Mixed Messages collection. I feel like this one might be really nice in there, like this. What do you think? You guys good with that? If I use that, maybe I have to, I always like it to be outside of the box, you know what I mean? A little bit outside. But I can always use a birthday card, so I think that might be a good one. I'm going to do that. Just because it'll be a little easier, and it is getting up there in time. So let me clean all this mess up here, and then we'll add that. I'll cut a new card base. This is the Wild Blossoms stamp set, along with the Birthday Wishes from the Mixed Messages sentiment strips. I know now the hard part, like which technique do you like better? Like which way would you want to do bokeh? I think it's fun to try them all, because the thing that's fun about this is you get to play with 3 completely different background techniques that all kind of give you a similar feel, but if you like doing background techniques and you like just doing techniques in general, I'm a technique girl. I love techniques. I love to get my fingers a little dirty and play with ink and see what things look like. And I love that each one looks a little bit different. And each time you do it, it looks a little bit different. Some of them are so unique, you know. You think, oh, I wish I could do that same exact pattern over and over again. This got stuck on the back here because Gina didn't wait to decide whether she wanted to do it horizontal or vertical. And then I changed my mind. Okay, let's get this Misty out of the way. And we'll finish up this card. As you can see, once again, everything's everywhere, but it's all good. So I'm going to put this on with some of this adhesive tape. And then we're going to give away a gift certificate tonight to Gina K Designs, to one person who left a comment. So if you haven't left a comment yet, you still have time. Say hello, tell us which one you like the best. Wish me luck not getting my sleeves in the ink over here. Let me just clean this real quick while you're staring at that card. I just want to get these blending brushes out of the way because honestly they are like, they're just all laying right side up in my way. And then I'm going to bring out the other cards that we made tonight, and you can look at all 3 of them. Okay, I think I did it. I think I cleaned it up here. All right, so this is one. I'll zoom in a little bit. The horizontal bokeh technique using sponge daubers and that Nature's Elements stencil. And then this one that used the Fizzy stencil and the Nature's Elements stencil. And this one that used the Sunspots stencil and a little bit of water. So 3 different styles there of cards. And they all feel like bokeh, right? Don't they feel like bokeh, even though they're not all the same? They all give you that feeling, which is neat and easy. Now, there might be more advanced bokeh techniques that are a little bit more difficult to do. And I'm sure that if you go onto YouTube and you type in bokeh card making techniques, you'll come up with all kinds of ways to do it. But I like to show you easy ways because I like to do things a little bit more easily, a little bit more elementary maybe, and I think they still turned out great. So let's take one more look at them, and I'll just tell you again, if you just are tuning in, what I used. Here for this one, I used the Kindness Silhouettes mini stamp set, and I used the Fizzy stencil and the Nature's Elements. This one, I used sponge daubers with that Nature's Elements stencil. I used our Wild Blossom stamp set. And then this one, I use the Sunspot stencil with a little bit of spritz of water, and I use the autumn silhouettes. And all of the greetings came from our Mixed Messages sentiment strips, and I cut them out with our sentiment strips dies. Okay, well, Tom, we got to give away a gift certificate. Well, first I have to ask you, which one is your favorite?
You really can't go wrong with bubbles, right?
Right, we could use bubble wrap too. That's another
Bubble
technique that I have on my channel. Bubble wrap is kind of bokeh-ish.
Oh, I can't decide. They all look fun. And yeah, very fun.
Okay, well, let's give away a gift certificate. We're going to give away a $15 gift certificate tonight to one of you. We're so excited to be able to do that.
All right, cheesy drum roll. Here we go. The winner is Stacy Knutson. Stacy!
Yay, Stacy! Congratulations, Stacy. All you have to do is send your name and an email address to info@GinaKDesigns.com, and we will send you that $15 digital gift card to Gina K Designs. All right, everybody. Well, I have some exciting news to share with you. I'm going to be going live with Jennifer McGuire tomorrow. We are going to be doing a tag team video again. We're going to show you 6 different ways to use stencils, and I think you guys are going to love this video. We want to hang out with you, and this time we're going to be over on Jennifer's channel. So I will be sharing that on my YouTube channel in the community tab, a link to that. But if you go over to Jennifer's channel, you can also set a reminder over there. She's already posted it. It would be on her live tab over there on the Jennifer McGuire Inc. channel. It's going to be a lot of fun. We can't wait to hang out with you. That might be my second video for the week because I don't know if I'm going to be here on Thursday yet. Not 100% sure. I have a pending doctor's appointment. I have to find out if I got in or not. If I didn't get in, then we'll be here. If I did get in, then Wednesday will be the video. But I have one more thing to share with you. I'm going to be live with Mary Gunn on Craft Roulette this Friday night. Yes, so join me there. I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, last time I actually stamped with a leather stool. I picked up a stool and I inked it up and I stamped it on a piece of paper because Craft Roulette is just that crazy. So I hope you'll join me for that too. All right, everybody. In the meantime, until tomorrow, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.